Alright, hey everybody. It is, oh gosh, the 3rd of October. It's 3:30. I've got one of my cats on my lap, and I've got a cold. If you can't tell already, I'm a little stuffed up, so you get to listen to Sick Mr. Mickleborough today, I guess, so hopefully you can put up with that. Sorry about that. I hope nobody else has a cold. This is just meant to be a bit of an introduction video for the theories unit, kind of the theories we'll use along the way unit that I have up. I really just kind of want to now change gears a bit. I know we've spent weeks now working on mechanics of writing and how to be a better writer and how to think about writing and how to think about reading and how to read texts, right? Texts being anything in the world, right? It's not just a book, but a movie or a picture or something, right? But I want to ask a question now. What do we do with all this, right? I mean, so many times in high school, it seems like, you know, you're learning stuff that you don't necessarily know what you're supposed to do with it afterwards. And I think that, as an English teacher, I think that ELA is the most relevant course in any high school to life after high school, because you're learning skills in this class that you're going to carry with you the rest of your life. When you read a book, when you learn how to read a book, you're not learning just how to read a book, you learn how to read the world. And I know I've said that, but I know I've said that before, but that really is the case, that you learn how to analyze things, how to think about things, how to question things, how do you find truth, how do you build an argument based on evidence that is supported consistently and logically by evidence found in the world. So the same skills and techniques that you are using to analyze poetry or short stories or novels, these are the same skills that you're going to take with you into the world, in an extremely complex modern world where there's fake news and there are people trying to convince you and lie to you and change your mind that might not have your best interests in mind. And so it's really important that we understand that, and that we are equipped and literate in ways to read and critique and analyze society. And that's the power of ELA. So I want to ask you, what does it mean to you to be a citizen? What does it mean to you to be an individual in society? What rights do you have as a citizen? What rights do you have? And flip side of that, what responsibilities do we have as citizens? We live in one of the best countries in the world. Canada is, by any metric, one of the very best places in the world that you can hope to live. So what responsibilities comes with that immense privilege that we've been born into, right? I believe that it is our role as citizens to try to make our country the best possible country it can be. Okay, so part of this is celebrating the good that we've done, and Canada has done a lot of good things in the world. But a huge part of this also is understanding the problems and the dark parts of our history that we have, and understanding how it is that we might go about making them better, or trying to improve the faults that we have as a country. I really think that if you want to know the full truth of something, you have to understand it from all sides. This means not just knowing the good, but also knowing the bad. So yeah, we live in Saskatchewan, one of the wealthiest, most stable provinces in Canada, and Canada being one of the most wealthiest, stable countries in the world. But even in Saskatchewan, I can almost guarantee you there are people living within 10 or 15 minutes of you that don't have the same access to health that you do, that don't have the same access to shelter that you do, that don't have the same access to education or food that you do. That we still have these huge levels of inequality in our country, and this has been a problem for generations, and it's a problem. It will remain a problem for generations. We have to start thinking of solutions. And I just ask you, right? How do you go about creating a better life for yourself, which is all anybody ever wants? But how do you do that if you go to bed hungry? How do you do that if you don't have access to a proper education? From the get-go, you've kind of been left behind, right? That if this was a race, other people get to start halfway towards the finish line. So if Canada is so amazing, which I really think it is, how do we allow this to happen, right? How do we allow poverty and inequality to exist in our country? I don't have an answer for that, but I think that as citizens of this country who have a responsibility to keep our country of Canada growing and improving, we have a responsibility to consider these questions and try to grapple with them and maybe try to find a solution. with all of this amazing privilege that it comes with living in Canada, what comes with living in Saskatchewan, we also have a responsibility. And I think that means really that we kind of have to use our powers for good. This isn't about feeling bad. This isn't about feeling intimidated or negative. Though I know when you start to research inequality and poverty and those sort of things, it really is easy to start feeling guilty or negative and start pushing back against it. This isn't about that. It's not about making you feel bad about yourself or making you feel bad about who you are or the family you're born into. Not at all. Absolutely not at all. The point is to start trying to be optimistic. How do you become part of the solution, right? How do you help make the world better? And how do you help make the world better in your own community, with the people around you? What beliefs should you change, or what things should you do in your life to help create maybe just a teeny little bit of improvement in your world? I think we all have, everybody has the ability to improve their community. The question is how you do it. So yeah, what does better mean to you? How do we go about creating a safer, more equal, more just Canada? Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. I want you to chew on these questions. We're going to be dealing with some challenging and difficult content in this little mini unit, and it is meant to challenge you. It is meant to make you look at uncomfortable truths about Canada. It is not meant to make you feel bad. It is. I really want to emphasize that together we can make our community better, our society better. But you have to understand what the problems are before you can do that. So there you go. I hope that made sense to you, and I hope that kind of gets you a little bit fired up. I want to make the world a better place. That's why I became a teacher myself. That was a part of my decision. Is that I really value what education is and the power that it has in people's lives, and I wanted to help give the best education possible. So that's why I became a teacher, and that's the corner of the world that I want to help improve. So yeah, as we go through this unit, you might hit uncomfortable areas that make you resist or push back, and that's okay. You are totally allowed to feel those feelings, but that's not the point. The point is that we're trying to recognize the problem so that everybody together, all of us, can help build a solution. Awesome. Thank you very much.